It's a good thing you stopped by today because I'd been wanting to talk to you about something. Well, you know, this is my 5th house and my commitment with my dad about selling it before I could get married. And I wanted to ask for your blessing for her hand in marriage.
Wow. You know, Austin, that's a big step. I know Joy, as she's gotten to know you on that level, she really thinks a lot of you. And
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Austin Forsyth, Anna Duggar's husband, is dealing with his own legal issues, and it looks like he is off the hook. Cue applause everywhere. So Austin Forsyth, who has been dealing with a legal battle in court for the last couple years, won. Well, sort of. So a couple years ago, a individual sued Austin, and he alleged that Austin had committed fraud by not pulling the proper permits and installing a proper septic system into a home that Austin had rehabbed and sold. According to the person that sued him, they claim that Austin had basically installed a septic system not fit for the type of soil that was in the ground. He had installed a septic system that was apparently for sand. So the guy that sued Austin alleged that after they bought the home, they say that one, Austin did not disclose anything to him about the septic system, and then two, no proper permits were taken, and three, after they moved in, they had a sludge-filled yard of waste. So they were asking for Austin to either pay for a new septic system or they wanted their money back. Now, they say that as a part of the sales agreement, they agreed to buy the house without inspection. There was a lot of things that the buyers in this case really should have done better. Now, Austin denied all of the claims. He said that they did not need permits in that area for this specific work and that he did not do anything wrong. He also claimed that the buyer had purchased this property, without the inspection, and because of that, it was all sort of like null and void. So initially, the buyer actually asked for a summary judgment based on everything, saying like, listen, he was supposed to pull permits, he didn't pull permits, I want my money, I want the summary judgment. A judge actually denied the summary judgment, and it was supposed to be going towards court, so it was going to go to trial. So as it was wrapping up, basically what happened was Austin was set to testify, and there was going to be a hearing or a trial coming up really soon. Rather than actually getting to trial, they settled. And so Austin now no longer has to worry about this lawsuit. And here is what the documents that I obtained through the Arkansas court system say. Now on the date received in the attached signature page, the parties by and through the respective counsel move for dismissal of this matter with prejudice. Upon consideration of the representations of counsel and for good cause shown, the court finds and orders as followed. As evidenced by the signatures of their respective counsel here too, the parties have stipulated that they have reached a settlement of this matter and move that this matter be dismissed with prejudice. Accordingly, the court finds the plaintiff's complaint should be and is hereby dismissed with prejudice. So with prejudice means that they've come to a settlement and the plaintiff cannot file another lawsuit regarding the same claims. So this matter is considered settled. Now, a lot of people were wondering, when all of this sort of played out and when the complaint actually was filed, a lot of people were actually saying that technically it was the buyer's fault because they bought this without the inspection. They chose to not have anything inspected when they made the decision to buy. They also say that Austin technically didn't do anything wrong. So it's hard to know. Listen, Austin actually has a contractor's license. He is not a residential contractor. He actually has what's called a commercial license in the state of Arkansas. He and Joy have a business, and their business is licensed as a commercial contractor. Austin's father, Terry, was also a contractor for years. He is no longer building, but he was a residential contractor. So contracting is kind of in Austin's blood and in his family, and it's sort of what Austin does. It doesn't seem like Austin really wanted to cut as like any of the corners that say, I don't know, the Duggars are allegedly known to cut. But anyways, so this has been hanging over their head for a couple of years. I'm sure in the terms of Joy, Anna, and Austin, this is actually great news for them because they can close this chapter and move forward. Joy Anna, I'm told, is actually having a pretty tough time with everything that's happened because of her dad allegedly not telling her about what Josh was involved in. So I actually spoke to a source about Austin and Joy and what their plans were and how they were doing. And my source said that Austin is absolutely furious with Jim Bob, furious about the situation, and really, really just in general very angry about all of this because they feel that they were misled, and apparently they really want Josh to get justice finally. So apparently they were completely blindsided. I think I mentioned this in another video, but if you haven't seen that video, I'll give you sort of the cliff notes. Apparently, Jim Bob Duggar did not tell his daughters about what was going on, or if he did say anything, it was very, very minimal, making them believe that there was nothing really to worry about. So when Josh was arrested and the charges were revealed, it was actually super shocking because they thought that it wasn't anything. Jim Bob had been making the kids believe, according to my source, that it wasn't real, it wasn't a big deal, this was all some sort of like, there was no truth to this, like minimizing all of it. To some people, he was flat out denying that these raids even happened. So when Joy, who attended the bond hearing, I believe, and also attended his hearing for the charges, actually found out what the charges were, I'm told she was horrified and shocked and really upset. And because her dad allegedly lied to her, I'm told that Joy is really struggling right now because she believed her dad when he told her all of those things. And now, because of that, she really honestly doesn't know what to do. Her entire life has been built on trusting authority, that the authorities would not do the wrong thing, that what people above her would do would be the right thing, that they would tell her the truth, that they would not lie to her, that they would not mislead her. And it was like a stab in her heart because now the person that raised her allegedly misleads her about Josh, and she's also a victim of Josh, making all of this sort of like in a tailspin. I'm told that her life is like she's completely shattered right now. She's kind of just trying to figure out like what is going on in her life. Her whole life is in upheaval. Like she's realizing that everything that she learned or everything that he told her was a lie. And now apparently they're trying to figure out, what did Jim Bob say that was truthful? What else did they say that was a lie? And that whole realization has had Joy really sort of trying to find her own way, which is why you see Joy trying to reach out to Jill and sort of mend some of these relationships, which I'm actually told that it's going to take a lot of healing for Jill and her sisters to actually reconcile, and don't like expect unions between all of these girls immediately. Jill left and for years has been ostracized by her sisters and by her dad because of her dad. And because of that, there's a lot of ill feelings. And so I think Jill, for her part, was trying to help her sisters for a long time. And now with them suddenly having what happened to them happen to them, it seems like there's some like frustration, like why now? Like I've been telling you about this for years kind of thing. So there's a lot of hurt that will take years to fulfill. But if Joy and Austin can kind of find their way out of this and figure out that what they've learned is wrong and move into a different direction, I think that's good, which means that they're going to have some decisions they need to make about if counting on continues if they come back, because I was told that Austin really doesn't want to be on the show. He doesn't like filming, and they really don't want to be a part of the show and haven't wanted to be a part of the show for the last couple years, just because they want to do their own thing. They want to have their own business. They don't want to have their whole lives on camera. They just don't want to be affiliated with the show. So according to my source. So Austin and Joy are done in court, and Austin and Joy are also trying to figure out their next steps and how they move forward with their lives after what my source says was the most devastating heartbreak Joy has gone through when they claim that Jim Bob did not tell her about Josh. So imagine being Joy and finding out with the rest of the world what your brother has done and that your dad lied to you. Imagine how that would feel. My source says it was devastating. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye.